Show me a shot's at a date without telling me it's at a date. Drone shot high above us on the Delaware River. Currently, it is outside of Sport Trade HQ. It is, of course, basically dark outside, though, because we are in the nexus of hell. It's November 17th, and it gets dark at 5 o'clock. We have the three-person weave. Welcome to the Three Box Show. Greg Rappaport, Amy Hashem, Team Sport Trade joining us today, our market movers. Before we hop into our World Cup discussion, we, of course, want to tell you about the sweepstakes promo here on the program. We're giving away $100 every single week. It literally could not be easier to win $100 anywhere else. Follow Sport Trade on Twitter. Quote tweet this show with hashtag TradeUpNewJersey. If you do so, you'll have a very good opportunity to win $100 put into your Sport Trade account. And what you can do with that money is trade on the World Cup, which is slated to begin in Qatar. I got caught between saying Qatar and Qatar.
You went with both.
And I went with both.
Qatar.
I totally went with both. I got caught in between two words, and I said Qatar. But that is where they're playing the World Cup starting on Sunday. There's a wider discussion, Greg and Amy, that could be had, maybe should be had, about the things going on in the country in the lead up to the World Cup. But this is, of course, a discussion about markets and how you can trade them on Sport Trade. So we'll save those for another day. The world descending on Qatar here for the 22nd World Cup. The host country is going to start. They're ranked 50th in the nation, 50th in the world in soccer. They begin with Ecuador. The question to both of you is, how excited are you for the World Cup? Amy, we'll start with you, and then we'll dissect this game a little bit.
Oh, I'm super excited. Just having soccer on 24/7 is going to be make my November, December that much greater. On top of the NFL, which is a first, obviously. So I'm just going to be watching sports all week long. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Greg?
The only thing I'm upset about that first game is I don't think I'll be able to watch because I'll be freezing my tail off in the MetLife parking lot on Sunday. But maybe we'll get it on with unlimited data being what it is. Maybe we'll still be able to watch. But actually, it could be a good game. So
we'll have a TV, so maybe we'll set it up.
There you go.
Do trading soccer in the parking lot.
Team Sport Trade going up to MetLife this weekend for an awesome tailgate that Sport Trade is hosting with Big Blue United before the Giants probably move to 8-2 against the Detroit Lions. The Giants playing the softest possible schedule in the National Football League.
I've never seen anything like
that. Team that is awful. And I'm not just saying that because they trail my Eagles by a game in the standings. Not a good football team is going to be 8-2 after Sunday. But hey, I can't wait for completely measured discussions amongst myself and amongst Giants fans at MetLife Stadium. It will be a great time. So if you are a Giants fan, you're a follower of Big Blue United, please come hang out with us. I promise I will be a lot nicer in person about your football team. Qatar going up against Ecuador to really lead us off here. And of course, on Sport Trade, you can trade on teams to win, teams to draw, goal lines, and over-unders. I can't say I've spent a ton of time trading over-unders on soccer, and that's because we've never done it before on Sport Trade. So this will be a first for most. I am absolutely leaning towards the under on maybe every single match, even with the, for lack of a better term, juiced to $63 per contract, especially in a World Cup where tensions are going to be really high and maybe the sphincters are a little tight.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at that too, with group play especially, there's a lot of teams, especially ones with lower rankings, like you would see with Ecuador or Qatar, who would be overjoyed to get a draw and just leave a match with a point. So I think that's why the draw outcome is nicely priced there. And I think that you could see one of these games where the entire focus is just like, don't let anyone pass your back line, essentially.
Yeah.
So
I love group play because, to your point, Dan, like everyone's sort of shaking off the jitters, but every match matters. Like every single match matters. So it's a bit of like, it's tense. At the same time, like they're gonna need to brush off the rust a little bit, like get into the groove, get into the rhythm of the team. You know, these teams, all of the players play all over the world. They don't necessarily just play with their nation's team. So it's going to be interesting who can actually like connect and build that rhythm. That's the team that's going to move forward.
Quickly, last note on Qatar. Amy, do they get a win in their own World Cup?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's talking Qatar.
I think this game really matters to Ecuador. Like this could be the game that gets them into the second place in the group play of that group. So I think it's definitely a little bit more of a important match for Ecuador. For Qatar, I think like this is more of just like you know, they want to show their host nation that they can play with the big boys, if you will.
Yeah, also, I was going to mention with that group, I think it just got blown wide open too because Sadio Mane is out for Senegal, and he's
when did that happen?
So it says he's going to miss the World Cup due to an injury sustained while playing for Bayern Munich. So that is like a massive blow to Senegal, and also this group is now just like pretty wide open, especially for a team like Ecuador and even a team hoping and praying like Qatar. So.
Interesting.
That's a big like because Senegal kicked out Egypt from being able to get it.
Yes, so and robbed us of Salah in the World Cup.
Yeah, robbed us of Salah for sure.
The United States in Group B, ranked 16th in the world in a group with Iran, England, and Wales. What do we think about the draw? First and foremost, I'll pull up the market for Monday at 2 p.m. Wales in the United States. United States trading at $38 per contract to win. Wales at $31, $32 for a draw. United States on the goal line, -1.5 at 16.5. Wales +1.5 at 84.5. And of course, that over-under for goals still at 2.5. Real quick, Felipe saying, see you guys at MetLife. Can't wait to hang out with you, Felipe. Unless you're a dirty Giants fan, then I won't be as excited. But we could talk about how we hate the Cowboys. United States and Wales. How do we feel about this draw? First and foremost, Group B. How do they match up against these teams? And do you foresee the United States? Greg, we'll start with you. Coming out of group play.
I do. I think I was looking at 538's projection earlier, and they basically had us as a coin flip to get out. Okay. So 50-50 to get out of the group play. It's one of those head in the heart things. My head tells me, look at what you saw from them most recently. A loss to Japan and a draw to Saudi Arabia. Really not the most inspiring final tune-up. I'm not a huge Greg Berhalter fan. I think that's probably an understatement.
Now, hold on. There's a very specific reason as
there's
to
a lot,
why,
there's a lot of reasons
why this is.
If you must pry.
We're going to talk about this. You're upset because he dresses like a hobo.
It's the sartorial choices. The man he shows up like he's coaching his kid's soccer game or I don't even know what. He's just out going to the grocery store on a Sunday morning. Like
so, joggers, a t-shirt.
Other coaches are wearing full suits. He's wearing a t-shirt. Sometimes it has the team's logo on it. Sometimes it's just like a black tee, like a Nike tee. It's pretty wild. But either way, I don't think that's much advanced analytics for you.
Well, what's your preferred outfit? Are you going 3-piece Gucci suit? Like what do they have to wear in order to earn your favor?
That would be good. Even a quarter zip would be nice.
Okay.
You're probably not going to see that. You're probably in the desert here. You're probably going to see the full t-shirt experience from Greg.
I just have to say that it has nothing to do with the game of soccer, but that teach their own. I mean, Bill Belichick wears cutoff sweatshirts,
and it's very intimidating.
Except his teams have performed well, whereas Greg's have let down again. But going back to the group, I just think on the whole. If you're a U.S. fan like myself, it's about as decent of a draw as you could hope. It really is like kind of right down the middle. England is obviously the favorite to come out of that group, and Iran and Wales are both beatable teams. I think we should advance. If we don't, it's a disappointment, and I probably won't have to worry about T-shirt Greg much longer. So,
Amy,
don't sleep on Iran, and I'll tell you why. They have only let in 4 goals in like the last 20 matches or something like that. What they do is, and it's just the tactic of theirs and the way they play in any World Cup, is they essentially pack it in the back. And they usually have great goalkeeping and they have great defense. and it is really tough to score against them. They don't score goals for themselves, but it's really tough to score against them. So don't sleep on Iran. I think
Yeah,
they will give every
you know,
team a hard time.
you know that meme that's like, I apologize, I wasn't familiar with your work. That's that kind of like when we got the draw with Iran, I looked and their world ranking was actually like much higher than I expected.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, maybe we won't coast through. So I'll wait and see on
Yeah.
Iran. It's not like the US's attack is so inspiring that I'm not worried about it. So
Right. Exactly my point. So, I mean, I think this first game between US and Wales will determine a lot about the group.
Yeah, based upon everything I've read with this group, is that most of the teams in this group are a similar style to what you were saying, Amy, with Iran, which is they want to not necessarily possess the ball too much. They just want to make sure that they are packing it in defensively and limiting your ability to score. That's why a lot of people seem to think if the U.S. can get out of group play, finish in second behind England, they could play a team like the Netherlands, which I guess, based on the articles that I've read, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know soccer, that is more advantageous to them. So, Felipe,
yeah,
sure.
I just want to say,
you sure can. Felipe, real quick, on Brazil, and not a Giants fan, so back in our good graces. Go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say, if you read ESPN right now, you won't find a single article that isn't just insanely optimistic about the United States.
That's
like they are really
marketing,
serving up some Kool-Aid.
The marketing behind the U.S. national team has been unbelievable. It's like, why not us? Why not? We're one of 32. We can do this. Come on.
Right.
By the way, in the comments too, Night Owl, our guy, big fan of Sport Trade, waiting for Android. Yes, Android coming early next year, so stay tuned. But you don't need to switch to iPhone. You could buy an iPad. That's something where you could still use Sport Trade if you had an iPad. Don't need to change your phone quite yet. You can still get a great iPad.
So Husky Park TV, our guy Eddie checking in. Eddie, if you are next door, come in here right now. You're gonna sit next to me.
Talk soccer.
And we're talking soccer. I want you to leave Baines, come sit next to me. We'll talk soccer. I know you and I were talking earlier today over the counter about who you liked. Come on in, give us your opinion on who you like. All right. Go ahead, Amy. Your last word here.
I just want one more thing about the U.S. team. I mean, obviously, the chant is, "I believe that we will win." I do think that they're a good squad, but they're super young, and I just feel like there will be a little bit, again, same thing, like there will be a lot of jitters because they are young, and a lot of them is their first World Cup, so it will take a little bit more for them to get in a rhythm than I anticipate some of these other teams that have been there.
So we're looking at the groups in general, as we mentioned, the USA, Iran, England, and Wales in that group. Is there, for everything I can surmise, there's no quintessential group of death this year. It seems like the talent is pretty well spaced out. Amy, you had mentioned something interesting about game theory and game planning. Why is that so unique compared to other sports, perhaps other tournaments too?
Yeah, I mean, group play is very unique to the World Cup. I mean, it is bracket style, but like unlike a March Madness or a college football playoff, like group play is basically like pick out of a hat and you get put in a group and you kind of have to deal with what, the teams you're up against, and only the top two teams of the group advance. So I think like a Group E, like Germany, Spain.
That's what I was looking at.
That one I'm very curious about what's going to happen.
Japan's not bad. Costa Rica's not bad. Like, but just anytime you get two European powerhouses in one group, it's tough.
Japan is very dependent on if Son is going to play. I think he had like an eye injury in one of the Champions Leagues.
He'll be all right.
Walk it off, son.
But yeah, so there's some interesting group play. I actually think that there will be a couple of surprises coming out of group play. Last World Cup, we saw Germany was dead last in their group, which was shocking. But I do think that there will be some typical powerhouses that actually will not advance in after group play that will shock the world.
Now, the way that this is coupled, right, after you come out of group play, then you have your round of 16, there is a possibility that Argentina, who's third in the world, and defending champion France, who is fourth in the world, could play each other in the round of 16. Now, that's just kind of how the draw goes. As we kind of look towards the futures market on Sport Trade, which I'll bring up now, that has to affect how you approach trading the World Cup from a futures perspective. We'll have individual games, as we mentioned, and we'll continue to add those as we get closer and closer to the games beginning. But I do want to bring it up as soon as I can locate it. There we go. Okay. So we'll go into the soccer futures here. We'll show you exactly who was favored and who was not. Brazil at 19.5 to win the World Cup is the favorite. Argentina at 15. France at 12.5. I do want to touch on this. Remind me to come back about why I think France is cursed and they're not going to win. And it's not just because they won it last time. There's a real reason for this.
Yeah, it's like some curse.
Oh, there's a curse. Spain at 10. So I mentioned a possibility does exist for Argentina or France to play each other really early. So how are you, Greg, we'll start with you, approaching how you are trading this in the futures market?
I mean, I think for one, you just are, when I'm looking at the futures, I am looking at teams that I think that have a realistic shot to at least make it to like the last 4 teams remaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, every now and then you'll run into those that can meet up with each other. On one hand, though, group play is volatile. There's no, you can't say for sure that this team's going to win their group and this team's going to win their group, so they're going to play each other, that sort of thing. So I don't think about it that deeply. I'm just trying to pick teams that I really feel like have a good chance to advance. And if they end up playing each other, then I'd probably just hold on to both of them and let them eat their points from their opponent, basically, or their percentage points there. But as far as Argentina, not to get too ahead of myself, but I see them as the best team in the tournament, and so I guess if I had to fade France, I would do that.
Well, let me tell you why you should fade France. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we came back.
Bring
to
it
this.
back.
Glad we came back to this. Here's why they're doomed. Some of you may know this. The brother of Paul Pogba, correct me if I'm wrong,
You got it.
has alleged that Pogba hired a witch doctor to curse Mbappe during a match in 2019 between Manchester United and PSG, who Mbappe plays for. Now they're both on the French national team. I can only assume this witchcraft, this sorcery, still swirling, and if not, bad blood in the locker room. That, and they won it last time. So I'm going to go ahead and say they're doomed. The French are dead.
Shorting the French team.
As if
Shorting the French
for the first time in France's history, they've internally combusted. It's never happened in that country's history ever. They've never done anything internally to upset the established order ever. But you know what? The rest of the world's looking at the French national team saying, "Let them eat cake."
So I'm glad you sort of brought up that like rivalry, because again, I think this is super unique to soccer. All of these players are each other's teammates and each other's enemies.
Yes.
And when they come to play for their national team, it becomes like a clean slate, and they're very used to this. So I don't think that like what they deal with in the Champions League is super important to them, but also they know once they wear their flag that means so much more. So it's weird, right? Because you're like, I don't like playing against that guy, and then it's like, oh wait, he's my teammate now. So like it's a weird dynamic, but they're so used to it in soccer.
I think one of the interesting things, and we talked about it off camera, was the very likely potential for an all Euro and South American Final Four. We'll go back to the FIFA full screen here, and we can sort of go through, I'm sure everyone's really interested in filling out our brackets, but we can at least get down to the
round of 16.
Yeah, round of 16 here. I'll just, I'll fill it out in what I assume most people are thinking to be like Mexican or Poland here in Group C to finish second. Poland?
I pick Mexico. Mexico always makes it out of group play.
I think that's I think that's one of my upsets. Mexico's gotten out of group play in the last 7 World Cups.
Oh, wow.
I think this year may be a little bit tough for them.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
that
Lewandowski,
didn't help. Anytime you got to go against him, it's not easy. So
yeah.
All right. Let's see. Can we all, for the most part, agree on some of this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Group stage completed. Wow, we're flying through this.
We
World Cup.
really are. I mean, as long as the World Cup is, we're really making sure we put this on fast forward. U.S. to Netherlands, I think this is the matchup a lot of people are looking at and saying, you know what, the U.S. could match up well against them, but I'm reading the room here as the host, and I'm going to go ahead and say the U.S. are not going to get through there. I think we all like Argentina. Germany and Canada is interesting. I think most people are on the Germans.
Yeah.
Okay. Brazil, Portugal. I think most people would say Brazil. A lot of people seem to love England. Harry Kane, not nearly as good looking as Wayne Rooney, but I guess I'm tailing. France and Mexico. The French.
French.
Okay. Belgium and España.
I think it's Spain. I think Spain.
Okay.
I think
I'm not going to argue a case too hard.
Now, Belgium, the number 2 ranked team in the world, according to FIFA.
They're
a little older. Belgium.
They're older.
Old players.
I think they're going to have some trouble.
Okay, so we're going with Spain.
Great names though on Belgium.
I have a futures contract on Switzerland.
De Bruyne.
I have a 80-cent futures contract on Switzerland, so I'm going to take Switzerland.
No, you got it. Yeah, Suarez is going to come out swinging.
No, come on, now Switzerland all the way.
Swinging.
So I mean, I'm going to say Switzerland. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's go back up to the top.
All right.
Argentina and the Netherlands. I think we're all kind of on the same page there. This might be the match of the entire tournament. Germany and Brazil. Again, not a soccer guy.
Before, for sure.
Yeah. So, Brazil plays a completely different style than Germany. And that's where I love, that's why I love World Cup, because you have the South American teams and you have the European teams that play like a different style. And like when they come up against each other, it's like, will that style actually outmatch the opponents, or will it just like, oh man, they can't figure this out because they play to their style and they don't play to their opponent's style.
So who do we like? I'm going to go ahead and say Brazil because it's time for Neymar.
South American resurgence this year after all these consecutive World Cups with European dominance.
Yeah.
So I'm going South American.
Neymar will come out with a lot of goals, I think.
I'm a Neymar guy only because I don't know anybody who's on Germany. England and France, 2 countries that have done battle many a time, getting it done again here on the pitch. Again, witch doctor season. I'm making an executive decision here. Going with England because there are no witch doctors.
Form is poor, to say the least.
Yeah, 3 Lions are going to struggle.
Well, not your show. We've got Switzerland. We've got Spain. I think we can all probably say Spain there. So we have what we had sort of mentioned before: Argentina and Brazil, and England under protest, and Spain.
I don't like this Spain pick. I mean, Switzerland just beat Spain recently, so that's why.
Should we go Switzerland? It would benefit greatly my wallet. So I'm happy to switch it with. Hey, look at that.
You guys.
Okay. All right. Look at us. Switzerland outvoted Amy 2-1. Switzerland and England. I think I can kind of figure that one out. And then this is probably, if Germany, Brazil is not the game of the tournament, this is really the final here.
Yes.
Argentina and Brazil. So I'll leave it to the 2 of you to figure that one out.
That's Argentina. Yeah. I mean, again, if Brazil, sometimes Brazil is really good and sometimes they play sloppy because they just play this like freestyle football,
They're both on a tear in terms of like form. Argentina has 35 straight unbeaten games, and Brazil has only lost one of their last 29 games.
And not to copy it at you, but 36.
So, it's just they're just both have insane form coming into this tournament, which is why they're the 2 favorites in our futures markets. I just happen to like Argentina. Maybe I'm buying into the Messi storyline. It's probably Messi's last World Cup, whereas Neymar, I'm guessing, might have 1 or 2 left in him.
So Brazil at 19.5, Argentina at 15, as we mentioned. England is at 9. I mean, England to me maybe represent a lot of value.
Bad.
Yeah, I actually shorted England.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just don't have confidence that they're going to win the whole thing. I think they will advance and they will get to, some maybe the 16, but I'm sorry, the 8, right? The Elite 8, I guess. And then I think that they're not gonna make it far.
So you have them losing to France, who has been cursed by a witch.
I do.
Okay, well, it's your bracket. I don't know what to tell you. Clearly not a Hocus Pocus 2 fan. Okay, and then we'll look at the final here. So are we going Argentina? Is it Messi season or is it Neymar season?
I think it's Messi season. But that's just me. What do you think, Amy?
Yeah, I would love to see Messi.
Okay.
Everyone would
He's gotta rally the team though. It's not a one player show. Once you get to that level, once you get to the Final Four, it's not just about one player. So if he can rally the team around him, I think that.
How did we have England end up in these?
So
finals?
I threw
this Dan's just like picking.
I threw my support behind the Powder Blues 2 weeks ago on Market Movers.
Okay.
And it ended with the Phillies losing in Game 5 to the Houston Astros. I'm willing to get hurt again. So I cannot wait for the Powder Blues to come through. We are picking as a group, I assume, Argentina, as they say down there, I think, to come through and win a World Cup. Bring it home, as my Argentinian brothers and sisters might say. I am 0% Argentinian, but I am for the next couple weeks. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I have been compared to Argentinian soccer star Kun Agüero in terms of your looks.
You sure have. We don't have a picture of him, but let me pull it up real quick.
That's a fail on your part.
We're going to pull one up real quick. No, it's okay. This is live. Spell it for me.
Kuhn.
Okay.
Last name Aguero, I believe.
Okay, I've got it here. We'll throw it up. Nope, I don't have it here. Okay. Yep. All right. Give me 1 second.
Fun fact: I did meet Maradona once.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
This for him.
Lo siento. Okay. This is incredibly.
This is. That's you, buddy.
Now hold on. You don't have any audio, so.
That's
okay,
you
didn't have any audio. Now you have audio. Is that? Can we? Hold on.
Wait, what are you doing rocking that Barca jersey, Dan?
Hold on.
Need a side by side.
That I'm working on it right now. All right, hold on. Here we go.
To our remaining viewer, I'm guessing singular.
Okay, ready?
Thanks.
Ready?
Tune down.
Yeah. Look, man, it's crazy.
No, do that. Yeah.
Head on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this to me means Argentina all the way.
He plays for Argentina?
Yes.
Ole, 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 ole.
I love it. Ole, ole. I am Argentinian now. Sergio Aguero, right? That's him? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sergio Aguero.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Me and Sergio, mano y mano. We're best friends now, and I am totally in on Argentina. Greg and Amy, thank you so much. I know you guys have to get out of here. A big party tonight in Hoboken, a sport trade party. If you're in Hoboken, come check us out. Come hang out with the sport trade team and trade Thursday Night Football, a game between the Titans and the Packers that I'm sure won't let anybody down. But it sounds like a great time. Guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you at MetLife on Sunday.
Thank you, Dan.
Great.
All right, we're right back here next week. No show tomorrow, but we are back on Monday with Anita Marks at 2 o'clock because we will be live trading USA and Wales, my second favorite team, Argentina, and then the United States. We'll check it out and see you on Tuesday. Monday, I don't know what day it is. See you later.